Hello, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend and a good start to your week. Today, we will do the match review between Liverpool versus Arsenal. My team lost on the weekend, but let's do it. For me, it was a match of two halves. In the first half, Arsenal were the better team. They looked good, but in the second half, both team really played equally good, and they had 15-20 minutes of patches each in the start. Liverpool were in the second half. In the start of the second half, Liverpool were the better team for the first 15-20 minutes, and later on in the end, for the last 15-20 minutes, Arsenal were the better team. They were trying to score the equalizer. The criticism which I'm hearing around Arteta is really unfair. People calling him to sack, people calling Arsenal 2.0 Stoke team. They are calling that after spending 1 billion, he's playing Arsenal like a Stoke team. That's really unfair. Like, people are forgetting where this match was. It was on Anfield, and Anfield is not an easy ground for any team. Even if you are Manchester City, Real Madrid, United, or Chelsea, whoever you are, it's not easy to play at Liverpool's home ground at Anfield. And at Anfield, normally Liverpool are always the better team, or they are the most dominating team in terms of attacking threats, scoring goals, creating chances. But in this match, on the contrary, they were not the team that who was attacking more or creating chances more. They were a team who looked defensively solid. They were good as a defensive unit, but in terms of attacking threat, I believe they were not the Liverpool which we have seen in the last season and even in the first two matches. Their defense, no doubt, looked shaky in the first two matches, but on the attacking front, they looked really good. They scored the most goal in the first two matches, but in this match, they were not a threat. And I believe it because of the both teams were nullifying each other's threat or each other's attack, and both teams were set up in a way that they were countering each other's strengths. So that's why I believe this match was good. And if you have watched the match and you have looked at the stats, it was telling you the same story. Like, if you look at the stats of this match, both team has a little bit equal possession: 53 Liverpool, 47 Arsenal. Shots on target, Liverpool had 3, Arsenal had 1. And in terms of overall shots on the goal, Liverpool had 9 shots and Arsenal had 11 shots. So if you looked at the game or stats, you would observe the same sort of scenario situation, that both teams were playing good, but in terms of game setup or in terms of creating chances, both teams were nullifying each other's strengths. And I believe from Arsenal perspective, it was also because of the lineup they set up. And I just want to praise Liverpool defense as well. Like, their defense looked really good. As I mentioned in my match preview as well, that their defense is a little bit shaky and it doesn't look good and they are conceding goals. But in this match, they ensured that they do not give chances or give gaps to Yorkers or Arsenal attacking players. And that credit goes to Liverpool and Van Dijk. Van Dijk was the best player on the pitch in terms of among all the players, or in terms of a defensive performance. I would say Van Dijk was the best player. And as I was sharing, that it was also because of the lineup we set up. But instead of calling Arsenal Stoke 2.0 or blaming Arteta why he set up defensively, why he didn't attack at all, but whatever Arteta had done, I believe the Arteta outers or the people who are right now criticizing Arsenal, they would say the same thing. For example, if like people are calling why he started Marino instead of Eze or Ethan Nwaneri, if he had started Ethan Nwaneri or Eze, people would have said, if they have not performed well, what people would have said, oh wow, why he started Eze after just 3 or 4 sessions with the team? That's not fair. He destroyed his confidence, like all that BS. And for Ethan Nwaneri, he's too young, and it was unfair to expect that much from him in this such a big high profile game. He is still learning. He's still learning his trade and still getting used to the Arsenal way of playing, or still understanding the dynamics of the handling the pressure which comes with playing for Arsenal. And he's too young. I believe putting so much pressure on him wasn't fair. And Arteta did the right thing, not playing him as straight away. Although I believe he could have come as a substitute, but at least not starting him in this match. And if he had started, people would have said the same thing. Why Arteta started with him if we had Eze or Merino, and as I mentioned for the Eze situation as well. And Menino was good. If you have watched Arsenal last season, he was the striker for us in the last or second half of the season. So I believe he started well, and it wasn't a thing like he did something different which other managers not doing. For example, in City versus Spurs, Spurs started with three DMs as well. For example, there's midfield was Bentancur, Paulinho, and Sarr. They are all defensive midfielders, central midfielders in terms of playing style, in terms of the lineup. And he started with them, and they won the match. And even if in this match, even a lot of other rival fans are saying that Arsenal did really good, and you cannot expect a team to go at Anfield and start attacking or being very open. And if you do that, if you remember the Wenger era, you concede 4 or 5 goals. So that's why I believe Arteta's strategy was good. And like, if you see the match, it wasn't like a situation where Liverpool full backs, right back and left back, they were bombing on and creating chances or going on the channels, and Arsenal defense was on their toes. It wasn't a situation like that. And people calling why Gyökeres did had created chances or didn't had a shot on a goal, or why he didn't play well. Because as I mentioned in the start as well, Liverpool defense was good, and they were not giving any gaps or chances to Gyökeres or other Arsenal attacking players. And they were not giving any room in terms of space to Gyökeres as well. And that credit goes to Liverpool defense for playing with that strategy. And people who are calling that, I have heard this on a lot of YouTube channels and media channels as well as Schumacher or other United fans or Liverpool pundits are saying the same. There was only one team who was trying to win, and that was Liverpool. This is totally not true. If you look at the substitution which at 0-0, the substitution which Arsenal brought in and which Liverpool brought in, look at the substitution. Joe Gomez, a defender, center back. Endo, a defensive midfielder. Keza was the only attacking player which Liverpool brought in, and even though he was not a prolific striker or someone who is scoring the goals all the time, they just Ekitike didn't have a sniff on our goal. Our defense, although Saliba was injured in the third or fourth minute, and Mosquera came in and did very well, but still this was his debut game, and people are forgetting that. And the fourth substitution which Liverpool brought in, Curtis Jones, again a central midfielder. They are not attacking players. And when you see at the players which Arteta brought in as a substitute, like Martin Odegaard, attacking midfielder, Eze, attacking midfielder, Doman, attacking midfielder or right winger. So all the attacking threats were coming from Arsenal, while the defensive players were coming from Liverpool side. And people are calling there was only one team was trying to win. Come on, man, that's not true. This is totally biasness speaking. So that's why I felt like I do not agree with this statement that there was only one team who was trying to win, and that was Liverpool. It does not, substitution does not agree with that, and the even stats does not agree with that. I believe it was an equal match. And if you want to say that even Arsenal were the overall better team, but that's what champions do. Liverpool somehow find a worldie free kick from Szoboszlai who helped them win this match, and all credit goes to praise goes to Szoboszlai for hitting that free kick. And now I can feel what Real Madrid felt at that time when Rice scored those goals from the free kicks. So I believe it was a good match to watch, and I am hopeful and I'm very happy with the way Arteta managed the injuries. If you understand the Arsenal situation, in this situation, people are going, why they didn't went all in. We did not had any creative players, like experienced creative players. Odegaard didn't start well. He came at the end of the game. Saka was out, and even Saliba during the match, which is a great sort of an impact for Arsenal, because Saliba and Gabriel partnership is very important for us in terms of managing, in terms of going forward, in terms of even playing from the back. And we have to involve Mosquera for his first game. So this is something people need to understand before blaming Arteta and Arsenal. So that's why I felt Arsenal did good, and I hope after the international break, our players came back from their injuries, at least most of them, and we started looking like the old Arsenal again, and we started showing people how good we are with the addition of Eze, Midweek, Gyökeres. We will show that we are a good team, and I hope Arsenal win their next few matches to make sure to help people understand how good they are. So that's all from my side from Liverpool versus Arsenal. Do share your opinion. What you think? Do you agree with Arteta criticism, or do you agree with the analysis which I shared in the chat? So thank